Varjak Paw, Chapter 19. Varjak and Holly talked through the night by the giant bronze lions. There was nothing to distract them but the fountain's trickle and the birds drilling. It was strange at first. No one had ever wanted to talk about hunting before. Varjak could barely believe that someone his own age was interested in it, and not senseless kitten games like Jay, Jethro, and Jerome. But it was true. Holly was easy to talk to because she was like him. She liked the same things. Her mind worked in the same way. Sometimes it was hard to keep up with her. Whenever he thought he had the answer to something, she asked another difficult question. Why like this, not like that? And she had ideas he would never have thought up. But he had a few of his own too, and together they worked out their plan. That night, Varjak felt something he'd never felt before. Or rather, he didn't feel something. He didn't feel alone anymore. They woke Tam just before dawn and explained the plan to her. Her eyes grew round with fear. "Me?" she said. "You want me to do that? Why me?" "Can you do my part of the plan?" said Holly. "Or Varjak's?" "Well, no, but—" "You've got to do it, Tam," said Varjak. "It's impossible without you." "It is?" she said. "Of course it is," said Holly. "And if you do it, I promise I won't say her name any more." "Well then," said Tam cheerfully, "what are we waiting for?" They took up their positions as the first rays of sunshine splashed onto the white buildings, filling the square with light. Everything began to glow. The ground, the sky, even the water in the fountain. Varjak crept up on the pigeons from one corner of the square. Holly crept up from another. Tam stood in front of them, on the far side of the flock. At Holly's signal, Tam sprang at the pigeons. 100 birds beat their wings, fierce and dangerous in their flock. Tam kept going, never slowing, just aiming for the other side in a blur of speed they couldn't stop. And Varjak and Holly flew out of the morning sun behind them. It should have been easy. The birds were distracted by Tam and didn't even see them coming in the haze of brilliant light. That was the plan. But even as Varjak dived in, the thrill of the hunt in his veins, it started to go wrong. Tam was clear through, but there were still too many pigeons in a mass. He and Holly were on the edge of the flock, but couldn't get close enough to any single bird to strike. The birds turned on Holly, wings flapping savagely, claws curving out. She didn't run, she stood there bravely, trying hard, but now they were surrounding her, pecking at her with shrill, sharp beaks. Holly was in trouble. She was trapped and she couldn't get out. They were tearing, scratching, ripping at her. Varjak could see panic mounting in her face. Tam was helpless on the other side. Quick! He had to do something quick. Slow time. The fourth skill. Everything will seem to slow down around you, but you will be fast. You will be faster than anything. Would it work in the real world? He breathed. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. And the wings slowed down. Varjak could see each beat, each claw, as if in slow motion. He dived after Holly in the mass of birds, moving smoothly through the chaos, making them fly apart for just a moment. "Holly!" he called. She looked up. It was enough to break the rising terror in her eyes. She darted through the gap he'd made, away from the flock and towards Tam, to safety. Out of danger now, Varjak breathed normally and switched out of slow time. It worked! The fourth skill really worked! "Did they hurt you?" he panted as he caught up with her. "Nothing wrong with me," said Holly, though she was trembling. "Thanks for getting me out," she added, much more quietly. "No problem." "He saved you, Holly," bubbled Tam. "I guess we're even now," she muttered. "I didn't do it for that," said Varjak. Holly didn't meet his eyes, but just for a second, Varjak thought he saw a smile flicker on her face. "Come on," she said, sidling away from the square. "We've got to hurry. I don't want to be here in broad daylight. It's so dangerous. You don't want another go? Said Varjak. He knew she was shaken. Her fur was still ruffled, but maybe it would help to try again. Why bother? She said, padding back through the city. The plan didn't work. It was a stupid idea. No, it wasn't, said Varjak, keeping pace with her ahead of Tam. And you did everything you could. How about me? Said Tam. Did I do all right, Varjak? You were great. You were both really brave. I was great, beamed Tam. There were just too many of them this time, said Varjak. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. Maybe, said Holly, picking up the pace. Maybe if we tried it another way. They started on a new plan as they headed back. The city was beginning to rumble with life once more. Familiar streets flashed past as they went by. I'm still hungry, said Tam. Her nostrils twitched. Wait, you two, it's that fishy smell again. She stopped by a turning off a side street, the same turning where Varjak had caught the mouse. Even in daylight, it curved away into darkness, into shadow. Come on, Tam, said Holly over her shoulder. But it's that lovely smell again, said Tam. And there wasn't any food in the park, and the hunting didn't work, and I'm still hungry. We're not stopping here, said Holly. If you go, you're on your own. She turned back to Varjak and carried on talking. They walked away, planning their next hunt together. Tam stayed behind at the turning. It's your loss, called Tam. I'll see you back in our alleys.